Hello, welcome to No Holds Barred Pod, episode 103. That's Sal Dodgson over there.
And that's Don McGowan. Hope everyone's had a great weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope
you know, it's been interesting.
Yeah, stuff's been happening.
I just forgot.
What, that it's been interesting?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. This is our sort of big pod of the week. You'll notice a little change in our format. We've been doing one big pod and some little ones, mini-sodes or whatever you might want to call them, on single
Easily
topic issues.
digestible ones.
Yeah, 10, 15 mins kind of thing.
But less good for doing your ironing. So, you know, we try to cater to everybody.
True. Very true. Yeah, this one should get you through your ironing, hopefully. So, yeah, welcome. So let's crack on with, what should we start with? Do you want to start with something?
Should we start with my fun Saturday?
Yeah, start with your fun Saturday. Young Bob.
Oh my giddy aunt. Well, yeah. Just minding my own business, sat in bed, going through Twitter as I do, learning stuff and finding what's going on. And my WhatsApp started kicking off and the bat signal went up that young Bob had come to Liverpool with his little gazebo. And I thought, well, it'll take me a couple of hours to get there. But, you know, let's go and see what's happening.
Go for it, yeah.
When I can, when the opportunity arises. I did need to get some bits from Liverpool anyway, to be honest, because, as nobody will know, my lovely therapist fucks off for the entirety of August every year, just because it's my birthday. That's the only reason he does it.
Absolute bastard.
Because he likes to leave me high and dry. So I would normally use that as an excuse to go not as an excuse to go and get my bits, but I don't have that now. So I was like, young Bob will have to be it. Mm-hmm. So I pops into Liverpool. And on the way to where Bob was, which was handily just right by Lush, which was where I needed to go, the Scouse Muslims had a gazebo out, bless them. So I went and had a chat with them to see if, what was going on. And they'd not heard anything or had any trouble, so that was good. And They asked me to tell Bob to go down and have a chat with them because they were just there being Muslims and chatting to people about, what it is to be a Muslim and how 6% of them isn't, going to do any harm and the majority are peaceful, loving people because,
exactly.
That's how it is.
That's what they are, yeah.
So I popped down and I hadn't really considered that he'd just be like debating a topic because I didn't really think about it. And I got there and he was sat there with Fred on his shoulder like some sort of sad man. And directly above him was a banner saying, "Make all abortion illegal, change my mind." And unfortunately, my natural reaction was to audibly and quite loudly burst out laughing at the thought of an 18-year-old trying to tell everyone he knows about abortion rights. So that upset Fred. And he stared me out, which was weird. I had sunglasses on as well. It's just bizarre. What are you trying to do? Have you got laser eye beams or? So I thought, you know what? That it was annoying me, and I was getting a bit. So I thought I'd go into Lush and I'll get my bits. And I went in there, and I found a nice, cool cabinet to just put my hands on and like calm down and dissociate for a minute. And a lady came over and she was like, "Oh, would you want a glass of water?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm fat. I'll be all right." I'm fuming about them. And she's like, "Oh, what's going on?" So I told her. She was an older lady. I thought about my age. Turned out she was 65, so I don't know what that means. But she was ever so lovely. And she said, "Would you like a hand and arm massage?" And I'm like, I haven't got the money for that, I'm afraid. And she says, "Oh, no, it's free. Like, sign me up."
Yes, please.
She was lovely.
Yeah.
So we went off and had a lovely chat. And she like give me a lovely massage and what have you. And a full-size product. For no reason whatsoever. They're just dead nice in there. It's a really safe space. I love it.
It's a brilliant place.
I know it's not cheap, but the products are brilliant. They last forever, and there's nothing bad about it. It's ethical as fuck.
Ethics, yeah, exactly.
She told me about her 2 adult kids who will not have children because they won't bring children into a world like this.
Yeah, that's
because it's everywhere and everything. Her son-in-law's had a vasectomy at the grand old age of 30 because he is so determined to never bring kids into this world.
It's madness.
It's so sad.
That really is.
It's so sad.
Terrible.
I mean, it's not gonna end well for anybody.
No.
And yeah, so I then, with all my bits intact, I went outside and I thought I'll just go and see what's going on. Because I couldn't really hear anything the first time. The mic wasn't particularly loud. If he had a decent PA system, he could have increased his uptake. Because a lot of it was just some acolytes at the side. We're talking, I'll say 20 people. I'm probably being generous. And assorted like young teenagers within that. So not serious fucking people.
No.
And then mostly just incredulous females walking. And I say females because of varying fucking ages of all over the spectrum. Just incredulous at like, what the fuck is this? And the gazebo had a bloody big Union Jack on it, didn't it? So
of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So when I went back over, there was a lovely lady, like late 30s probably, who had some older teenage girls with her. And when I got there, there was like an older man who I can't even remember. Oh, there was a young girl had come over and walked off, and she just walked off and went something like fucking fascist dickheads, or I can't remember what she said, but it was something like that, or I can't remember. Or she said the state of these men, or something like that.
Right.
And then there was a grown up about my age in front of me, Gamini, who just went, yeah, and look at the state of what she's wearing. I couldn't help it. So I'm like, what's what she's wearing got to do with anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look at the state of her. And when she's perfectly legally dressed.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you judging what she's wearing? And then this teenager at the side of me pops off who's like 14-ish, like bum fluff. Like,
yeah.
Who starts like having who she thinks she is from criticising me. I'm like, she didn't criticise you. She made a general comment.
Yeah.
She said something about men, and I'm a man. I couldn't help it. I took my sunglasses off and I went, but you're not, are you? And it will be one day.
God.
His younger sister, who was probably in single figures, then pipes up something and scouse. He turns around and tells her to shut up. So I then explained to her what misogyny is.
Yeah.
All while remaining very calm, but not filming anything, because it turns out I don't have the ability to control my inner self and do the filming business. So I've got a vacancy I've got a vacancy for a friend / boyfriend / whatever the fuck. I need someone to come with me to do this shit.
Cameraman. Yeah.
So this lady's on the mic and she's debating him, and she's saying to him, so at what point do you think like a fetus becomes a baby? And he said immediately upon conception, when
this is young Bob,
two-celled zygote. Yeah. He was like, 3 meters away from me. And I wasn't queuing for a mic to speak to him. I'm sorry, just
hanging out.
It wasn't the forum, because there would have been a little point. And so she then turns around to the girls that are with her and says, "Right, girls, who's doing GCSE biology?" They'll shut their hands up. She said, "Right, at what point does a fetus become a baby?" And they knew better than he did, shockingly, which is weird. And they wouldn't debate her. And she's saying, "Come on, so what are you saying?" He's just like, "We've got a difference of opinion." And she's like, "That's not debate."
Yeah, exactly.
Fred's just shrugging his shoulders like, "Oh, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm getting paid to be."
Yeah.
So I couldn't help myself. So I turned around and said, "So are you expecting everybody here to believe that your little opinion is right, and that the opinion of the entire medical academia in the history of man is wrong?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that what you're telling everyone? Well, yeah. Well, that makes you a sub-intelligent sociopath, doesn't it? And he turned around. I don't think he can do like irony or sarcasm.
No.
Because he turned around and he went, "Well, I'm a mental patient then." Like literally like that. No, like, ugh. And I went, "Well, yeah. Unfortunately, this is where we are."
We agree.
And I had agreement from him, so I walked off after that, which I wish I'd gone back an hour later, but I just wanted to go home, to be honest, when I got my bit. Because he then turned it into a remigration debate.
Oh, later on, yeah.
Later on. So which, I prefer the abortion thing, to be honest, because at least that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think he got an awful lot of footage that he could use to put out, which is good.
No, but I don't think, like, we have just recorded an episode with Professor Louise Raw, haven't we? And we talked a little bit about this then, and she said he does that on purpose, maybe, that he never really records the other party in the debate, only himself, and only puts out his point of view, which I have backed up by Will Kerridge, and Will Kerridge said he tried debating once and he just turned everything off and left because Will's, an intelligent, erudite young man.
Like we were just saying with Louise, I'm a mental patient then. That's him shutting down the debate, isn't it?
Yeah, completely,
because he's got no argument.
Close, yeah, exactly
and that's what happens.
That's the far right in a nutshell, basically, yeah.
But if he can go to every city he wants, he's never going to win a debate.
No. Well, he doesn't engage. And so, I mean, if you don't engage in a debate, you can claim every single one of them as a victory, can't you? But it's a false victory,
shameless.
Hollow victory, yeah. Well, at least you went and spoke to him. I mean, that's good on you. Absolutely.
Well, he didn't get away unopposed. That's all I'm saying.
Good. Fantastic.
I just wish Nina had been home because then we could have done stuff.
Yeah.
But she's away, so I was on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you need a camera person.
That was. You know what? There's all sorts of more to it, but I just can't remember the finer details. Of course. After I spoke to the Scouse Muslims and I'm walking down Church Street to go to Young Bob, there was a young blonde girl with a buggy with, I assume, a baby in it. I didn't really notice.
You'd hope so.
And I've got my headphones in, so I'm minding my own business. And I just saw like a kerfuffle off to my peripheral left, and there was a guy, 40, 50-year-old, with a teenage lad, and don't know, but off the top of my head, they looked like they could have been Kurdish. Don't know where they were from.
Right, okay.
The guy was walking along like with his phone, sort of faffing with it the way we do.
Yeah.
And this girl with the buggy just walks past him, starts gobbing off. Who are you recording? What are you recording? Don't you be recording my chart. She then gets her phone out, starts recording. This has all happened completely apropos of nothing.
Yeah. God damn.
And I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Shocking.
And this was before we'd even got as far as Bob, so it's not like she'd been listening to him and she just, you know what I mean? It's endemic.
Proliferation of entitlement and racism combined.
Then when I'm walking away from Bob to go back where I came from, there was a little stall that some pro-Palestinians had set up, and I think they were just collecting petition signatures or whatever, but they weren't causing a kerfuffle. There was no noise going on. It was just a table with a few people and some Palestine flags. And there were 2 female police officers shutting them down. I couldn't help it. I stopped and I'm like, what are you doing? 20 metres away are actual fascists and you're doing this here to these peaceful people. And their faces were a picture. They know. But they're just following orders, aren't they?
They've been ordered, yeah.
It's We've had 90 years of warnings.
Yeah. This has happened before, people. We know what happens. Doesn't end well if you let this carry on. Yeah.
So that was my fun Saturday.
But we still have to talk about it and what we're doing and what we, talking to people like Louise, who's a very, very staunch anti-fascist campaigner. We have to just do
academics.
This stuff. Yes, exactly. We have to counter it at every turn. But yeah, cool. Yeah, well done for doing that. If he ever comes to Gloucester or Bristol, I shall pay him a little visit as well, if he does.
Yeah, we will do Bristol at some point, no doubt.
Yeah, he probably will, won't he? Gloucester seems to attract a lot of the far-right groups as well for some reason. So, yeah, maybe I'll keep my eyes open for that.
You need to join your local stand-up to racism. Then you'll get your bat signals.
I should probably put my
get in the WhatsApp.
Put my head in above the parapet with those guys, shouldn't I? Really. So, moving on, where should we go? Keep on the fascist move and talk about reform before we.
Yes.
Yeah, get them out of the way. I mean, we put out a little mini-sode about reform roundup from last week in the Clacton by-election, so there's no real need to go over that again. So if you haven't heard us chat about Clacton, check it out. It's only about 10, 13 minutes long. It's on YouTube. But other than that, they've been throwing shit at the wall again, basically, over the weekend.
Actual.
Yeah. Well, in Lee Anderson's case, certainly.
He's been silenced now, hasn't he? After his little episode.
Well, he went on holiday.
He's been silenced.
He's been put on holiday. He put a picture out saying he was on holiday. He's definitely been retired by Reform. But there was a report this morning, which I completely forgot about, saying that Zaya Yusuf has, in quotes, had enough of Zaya. No, Nigel Farage has had, in quotes, enough of Zaya Yusuf.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
So that's interesting turn of events. That was always going to happen, though. We predicted that for about a year, haven't we? So,
look, they're just a gang of toxic knobheads. I bet you they'd be falling out all over the place that we don't know about.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like a whole soap opera.
Totally. There's no way that is a harmonious, like, family party and behind the scenes, is it? But they're trying to grab the narrative again and divert because Nigel's back under fire. What? He's smirking.
Sorry, I'm just remembering. Earlier, I was on Instagram. Gemma Forte put out a clip of her on Vine with bullshit. And Dr. David Bullshit literally got the hump.
Did he?
He's got the hump because Gemma didn't go to his birthday party because she didn't want to be surrounded by the fash, weirdly.
Yeah.
And on principle, she felt she had to not go, and he brought it up on Jeremy Vine.
Did he? What?
I swear to God,
sensitive bunch of snowflakes. Yeah. That's the thing with Reform UK and most of the far right. They're so sensitive. They do not like being put in their place by anyone, particularly women. I mean, that's like, they really don't like that at all, do they?
Arrested development is a hell of a thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they get really pissy if there's a woman that tells them the truth and puts them in their place.
So,
more of that.
It's even
please.
Less understandable because he's a gay man. So
that's very true. He is, but
he's got no skin in the game, has he? Do you know what I mean?
Not in that respect, but he's certainly very.
No full skin in the game. Sorry.
Do we know if he's Jewish? I don't know.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that.
I know what you meant.
Oh God, you're making me anti-Semitic now.
I think you're allowed to talk about foreskins without being anti-Semitic.
Oh, is that okay?
Apparently, I think. This is taking a turn,
older, I suppose, isn't
it? Jesus.
Louise Rose infected me with humour.
Bloody Louise. She was absolutely hilarious. Just as a forthcoming trailer, we've got an absolutely fantastic chat with Professor Louise Raw coming up later in the week. So keep an eye out for that. Right, Reform. What have they been doing? Basically, they're trying to regain control of the narrative. So Farage lied his little arse off about why he couldn't go to the Reform account at the weekend. He was lying about the police, saying there was a credible threat, blah, blah, blah. Absolute bullshit. Essex police went, no, we didn't tell you that, you're lying. So they need to distract again. So this time, they're re-announcing another policy that they have announced again, that they're going to they're going to save 50 billion from the welfare bill. 50 billion pounds.
Oh, this shit.
Well, a couple of things. They would remove benefits. By that, they mean universal credit and not pensions, because one thing about their benefit. Yeah, benefit. UC and PIP. Universal credit and PIP. Any benefits, basically, from any foreign nationals, and that's EU or otherwise, which, as many people pointed out subsequently this afternoon, if you start removing people with settled status from the EU and they're on benefits of any description, if you take them away from them,
it's quid pro quo, isn't it?
You're going to open the Brexit wars again, and we're going to be in all sorts of fucking trouble if that happens. So our agreements with the EU will be cancelled, blah, blah, blah. So they just, what we have to say.
Let myself get angry about it because they're never going to be in government.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
It's fucking ridiculous.
We have to put that caveat in, is that
we're going to fly to the moon on rainbow balloons.
Exactly. They can say all of this shit because they know they're never going to have to put it in place. But then, Sky News broadcast the press conference live, and BBC reported a headline about it on their social media so that, people believe it. But so we have to mention it briefly.
A bigger Hague.
Yeah, we are. And not Louise Haig. But part of the announcement today with Robert Jenrick, did you see anything of the press conference? So Like Robert Jenrick did his speech, and then they asked journalists, and instead of Robert Jenrick being allowed to answer the questions, Richard Tice appeared on his shoulder suddenly and stood next to him, and like over him, like towered over him, and like a sort of head teacher or something, making sure the student didn't say anything
Richard
out
Tice towered over somebody. Isn't he
but
about
I think there
3'2"?
must have been I think there must have been a platform or something. But yeah, if you see
He's
the
got
pictures,
Tom Cruise about it.
Yeah, it's got Cuban heels and lifts in his shoes. But yeah, but he did. He was quite, I know Jenrick's not massive, but I don't think Tice is as big as so he must have been stood on a box or something. But anyway, it was just very telling that Jenrick wasn't allowed to answer the questions on his own, that Tice had to be there. So anyway, Jenrick said that, what did he say? Oh yeah, they were going to force universal claimants that have been out of work for a year or more to do community service, like prisoners. Like people have been
This after they've left the ECHR that they're not going to do because they're never going to be in government.
Exactly. So it's telling that they left this announcement of where they're going to whip disability benefits and universal credit away from everyone since they left it till after the election last week, because 28.4% of the Clacton population is on universal credit. So they're basically, Nigel Farage's constituency, about to take away benefits in their minds from over a quarter of Nigel Farage's constituency. Strange. They did say...
We've got nothing to lose. They're literally throwing shit at the wall, aren't they?
Exactly, that's it. And they did say, as part of the press conference, that they would keep the triple lock and wouldn't touch pensioners' pensions currently. So I don't know how they figured out that with the 50 billion, and that they would degrade universal credit every year by not keeping it in line with inflation. So the rises would be much smaller, and therefore it would go down. I mean, it's just such a load of nonsense.
Psychotic.
It is.
It's fucking psychotic.
It is. It's crazy, and they just can't. The IFS put out a statement I noticed earlier, responding to it, but it was like 3 paragraphs basically going, there's no detail, we can't comment on this. Like there's nothing there. Like they just announced a load of rubbish basically. So that was the IFS's response, but it only is.
They're unserious psychopaths.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they're spending all this money, and there's Robert Jenrick there up on stage with his podium and his 2 proper teleprompters that Donald Trump has, you know, and all this shit. And he's saying over 300,000 people who can work are currently claiming universal credit. Yeah, that's well done.
Because there are no jobs, and the jobs there are pay too little, you fucking
pittance.
twat.
Yes. He said reform will then require them to work 20 hours a week for their local county or council or community groups. Yeah, sure. It's literally dragging disabled people out of beds to give them community service like fucking criminals. Pathetic, nonsensical garbage.
Yeah,
that's it. And that is reform since the weekend, and that's what they've got left to throw at the wall, basically, to try and distract from Farage's 5 million, which is coming up quite soon. So yeah, it's really sad and pathetic because they've got absolutely fuck all. Other thing that happened today, is Danny Kruger was out denying climate change. Yeah. So yeah, another pathetic load of rubbish.
He's a special one, isn't he?
They said that they would never enact hosepipe bans. They would ban the hosepipe ban somehow. They didn't explain why or how.
They're fucking imbecile. What, are they going to make us all dig a little water trough in the bottom of our gardens? Yeah. They're fucking idiots, man.
That's enough about
they're
reform.
Like the anthill gang of politicians.
Yeah, exactly that. That's for people of a certain age. Google it, youngsters and people that live abroad, because we haven't got time to go into
comical mafia.
Yeah. Actually, our American listeners probably know who that is, don't they? The anthill mob.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I've got some bad news about water while we're talking about it.
Yeah, let's talk about water, because I've got a couple of things about water as well.
So it's just an article from the Beeb, unfortunately. And I want to say, it's like 4 days old, but water bills set to rise for many after firms permitted extra funding. I'm going to read that again. Water bills set to rise for many after water firms permitted extra funding. Doesn't add up, that, does it?
Not
so
really.
They're both rising bills and they're getting funding.
Where's the money going?
We're struggling for water.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll just rattle through it. Water companies have been given the green light to increase bills for customers by an extra $3.4 billion in coming years to meet increased pressures on infrastructure and the environment. Okay, the infrastructure that they refused to build because they were squirreling away all the money for their shareholders, and the environment that they've fucked up by releasing sewage into the water since Brexit. Nearly a third of the extra funding provisionally approved for 13 water companies in England and Wales is earmarked for making sure water services are maintained. Nearly a third.
Wow, that much.
Some of the rest will be used to meet rising demand from house building
fuck off.
and data centres to address the pollutants known as forever chemicals. None of that's our fucking fault or responsibility or accountability.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Andy Burnham has said the proposal was real money out of family budgets at a time when they are struggling with the cost of living. And an environmental group described the decision as an insult. Customers of the 5 water companies, Severn Trent, Southern Water, Thames Water, Wessex Water and South East Water, are facing additional bill rises over the next 2 years on top of increases that were already announced in 2024. This is fucking unbelievable. The new increases will vary between firms. Southern, for example, will charge £43 extra next year, while Southern Eastern will only charge £1 more in 2029. The increases will only come into effect if they are given final approval later this year. The other 8 water firms identified, Anglian Water, Drwy'r Cymru Welsh Water, Hafren Diffydwi, I think, Northumbrian Water, Wouth West Water, United Utilities Yorkshire Water and SES Water would recover their additional spending through customer bills after 2030.
Brilliant. I'm going to put the prices up. Yeah, of course.
Many consumers are angry at being asked to pay anything more against a backdrop of interruptions to supply, sometimes lasting for days, and rivers, lakes and beaches too polluted to use safely. But these are fucking mafia, these people. But mafia companies. But water companies argue that these problems can only be solved by boosting spending to replace pipes, build treatment plants and establish new reservoirs, which you lot should have been doing for the last decades.
It's what we've been paying
and they
you
haven't.
to do.
They just haven't.
Exactly.
Climate change has also increased pressure on the water infrastructure by making heavy rains and heat waves more frequent. The regulator Ofwat said the extra spending would enable the firms to support growth and better environmental outcomes and ensure important updates are not delayed. What are we doing? Why are we just throwing good money after bad? And what's that Einstein? I've got to learn that quote. I need to put it on my wall. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, is insane. It's not even stupid now. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I agree. And to put the cherry on the icing, today there's been talk of customers Ofwat allowing water companies to use surge pricing in times of drought to their customers.
That's one back from charging for oxygen. Fuck off.
That's what was on the radio this morning.
No.
Surge pricing during heat waves.
This dynamic pricing shit is mental.
I know. It's horrendous, isn't it? But for water, when we need it more than any other time.
It's a human fucking right. Nobody should be profiting from human rights.
And not surge profiting, which is the worst of the absolute worst of profiteering. It's insane. I can't. I heard that this morning and I thought I'm going to save that for the pod because it's absolutely ludicrous. So yeah, all of the things that you've said, it makes things crazy. Like they've been given money hand over fist and doing nothing with it apart from sending it to hedge funds. And now they're going to be allowed to fucking profiteer, which is what surge pricing is. Profiteer in the worst of times.
From
like
disaster.
Now, when we can't use our hose pipes in the garden. The announcement today, ministers have been told to prepare for a ban on car washes, window washing and refilling private swimming pools to protect water supplies. But they're not stopping data centers from using water, and they're going to allow water companies to make it off of our backs.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I'm quite like flabbergasted by the whole situation. If that, I mean, they can't be allowed to do that, surely, you'd think. But that it's a consultation, apparently, so we shall see. I mean, if Andy Burnham lets that goes ahead, then he can get in the fucking sea immediately. Like, there's lots of things he's doing badly, but if he lets that go ahead, off you go, mate.
When we were talking earlier and you mentioned to me about the guy on Twitter who sent you the article about the water cooling for the data centers.
Yeah.
If that's the case, why is everyone in America still suffering?
No, I know. No. Yeah. So, yeah, I put a post out on Twitter earlier about data centers, saying that they're not legally bound to report water usage, which is what I found in my research. And I did have a reply from a guy, and I'm not going to name him, obviously, but he works with companies who put data centers together. And he said to me that they use fully recycled water, but I'm not sure. But he's
all water is recycled fucking water. I'm just going to say that.
I know, you're right. I asked him politely, and I said, give me some data, and he said he'd try and find me some data on it, but I'll report back on that at some point if he does come back.
Does he think he's getting brand new water every time he opens his tap?
Yeah, maybe.
From the brand new water shop?
Yeah.
Are you well?
No, but I think he wasn't being argumentative with me. He was trying to be informative. So I'm going to give benefit of the doubt.
Fair
for
dues,
sure.
but
Yeah. But no, I'll wait and see if he does come back to me with anything on that. But in the meantime, everything I've read is that data centers are a humongous problem, massive problem for water and electricity as well. Like they use like when we talked about it previously, was it Slough, who have had power cuts and electric downgrading of homes because to supply data centers around in their area. Data centers are the next big problem that we're going to have to run against.
Like we haven't got enough on it already.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone want to help with data centers? Right, what else? Let's move on because that's maddening. Do you want to do the difficult
Jason Arday thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's put in a trigger warning because it is going to be difficult, this part. We're going to talk about Jason Arday, and obviously that's going to include suicide references and things like that. So just if you are sensitive, maybe skip on 10 minutes, maybe something like that. Okay, cool. You go. Do you want me to start?
So, well, just in case people have been living under a rock, Jason Arday, a professor from Cambridge, ended his own life the other day because he had been gone after by the gutter press like a pack of hounds chasing a fox.
Not even just the gutter press, though. The mainstream press, the Guardian, and the people like that as well. James O'Brien,
the cash for contestry industry.
All of that, though.
MSM is all gutter press to me now because
fair enough.
We are where we are because of their ineptitude and terrible connections and the toxic society we live in. It's just for me. This is highlighting everything that is wrong with society, all of it. But go on, you do a bit because.
Well, no, it's just that. I mean, my take on it is mainly based around the media aspect of it because that's what I often talk about and write about, and it is, in my mind, he's been hounded to suicide and his death by the press, much like Caroline Flack was. What was it, about 10 years ago, Caroline Flack, and it's we'll talk about his sort of accusations against him in a minute because that's important. We cover all of it, but the media angle is,
there are so many aspects to this story.
There are. It's hugely sort of varied, but the media side of it, from my point of view, is despicable, like you just said. And then I read people today and all over the weekend doubling down. People like Julia Hartley-Burrough should be removed from every single.
She should be put in Ashworth.
The stuff she's been putting out over the weekend. is disgraceful, and it's wrong and disgusting. Blaming him for his own death, all these sorts of horrific things, and I'm not even going to read them out or give her any kind of airtime other than that. But what is interesting, people like I saw specifically like James O'Brien, who went on last week about how, you know, how despicable the Jason Arday was, and how he'd been taken for a ride and all this, and how he thought he was amazing. And then today was,
did you know him?
He's interviewed him, and he interviewed him, and he got on really well, and he took everything at face value, James O'Brien. And then last week he said he felt really let down by all the, you know, the stories, and how despicable it was that he'd made up all this stuff. And then today he had a caller call in after his suicide and said, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself from what you said last week, because, oh, sorry, my headphones. You should be ashamed of what you said last week because you kind of flip-flopped on your story, which is what all of the press have done. And it's just, I don't. The hypocrisy that's come out of it is mind blowing. In some parts,
it's highlighting all sorts of things. But yeah, I am. I'm struggling with this story because I have so much of it that I've personally experienced from like the suicide aspect, you know, of living in suicidal ideation myself. And a lot of that is caused by decades of living with dishonest people who gaslit me perpetually. That's what's driven my own mental problems.
Yeah.
And also knowing people that were complete, well, I don't know how many fantasists I've met throughout my life, and some of them are unbelievably fucking dangerous, and they cause all manner of problems for people. Like it's how like mental illness fucking permeates. You can take a perfectly healthy individual, but if they get put under like stress and strain by being accused of things they never did, it affects you. It burns your brain out because there's nothing you can do. If you've got people going, you did this, you did that, and you go, I didn't. Here's the proof. Oh, we don't care. You did. You know. So it's very difficult, but there are so many. Like I'm looking at an article here that I've read from the guy who initially highlighted his inaccuracies, a guy called Jack Grove from the Times Higher Education.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
Which I assumed it was related to the Times, but it's not, is it? They've got different typeface.
No, I don't think it is.
So I don't actually know who this publication is because that's only just occurred to me, or who he is. But he's basically saying that he raised his initial findings, and he sent them all to Cambridge and to Professor Arday to give them a right of reply.
Yeah.
And then basically had the police and Carter Ruck on his doorstep. And his point is that if his concerns had been addressed by the university and he hadn't just been shut down, told to fuck off, then this eugenicist, psychopathic cryonist would never have got hold of it in the first place, which is where it's led to today.
Yeah. Nathan.
And
what's his name? Nathan Compass.
That's where I'm sitting, because these things do not happen in a vacuum. And yes, we need Leveson too, but we needed Leveson too going back before Caroline Flack.
Oh, yeah.
20 people a week terminate themselves. And that's something nobody gives a flying fuck about.
Yeah.
And we don't. And it's been on the increase since 2010.
Yeah.
And no one's talking about how do we stop this horrendous epidemic of suicidality that we've got due to deaths of despair because we're living in such a toxic society. No one's talking about that.
No, they're not. It's not been mentioned. It never is. It's too difficult for people to talk about, and it
But we're never going to iron things out unless we get fucking brave and have these conversations.
I agree fully.
I'm not shouting at you. I'm just
I know you're not.
impassioned because this is why I do what I do, because I can take on my lived experience.
Yeah, of course.
And know that I'm coming from a place of fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
one experience, but there's loads of people like me, and we need to speak out more because we're never going to solve anything or make anything better by pretending it's not happening, which seems to be how this all fucking started, by Cambridge pretending this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Cambridge, who produced Liz Truss and who I've been arguing for the destruction of for a couple of years now. I'm just saying. But, you know.
They're performing a review, aren't they? I've set up an alert on my ChatGPT, actually. It's really good for setting up alerts when news stories drop. And I've set up an alert for when that Cambridge review into this story is published, because you're right. And there's an awful lot sort of gone swept away under the carpet. I mean, he was clearly an incredibly intelligent man. He did amazing things, and loads of things were correct and produced well in his life. But there's a lot of stuff that he definitely made up. I mean, let's not shy away from that fact. He made up a lot of stuff.
That's a problem.
There is a problem. In my mind, it doesn't change my opinion of the outcome, because I think the press were the arbiter of that.
Issue.
But it is a separate issue, totally. But you know, we can't shy away from saying that he made a load of shit up, because he did.
And
a lot of it.
The other thing I will say.
Go on.
So it just because I know Molly McCann, the boxer, Meatball Molly.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out he used to be a lecturer when she was at Liverpool John Moores.
Oh, really? Okay.
And and like I know Molly, she's a good person. And she said he was just the most sweet, gentle, lovely character. So I think his intentions were good.
Oh yeah, almost undoubtedly.
He wasn't a bad man.
No,
he was just very faulted, like many of us are.
Like so many people are. Yeah.
Ended up just becoming a target for these rabid parasites.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem.
Because we don't care about mental illness. We don't want to talk about it. No. So we can't. Like, ordinary people need to be able to spot wrong-uns.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
If we educated kids, I've been saying this since I was 14 at school, they need to put psychology on the curriculum so that kids can identify people that are acting out of normal character.
Yeah, it would be a very, very.
We wouldn't have this. If we had that, we wouldn't have a government of the worst possible people like we have now.
No,
but again, it's back to education with everything, isn't it? Ironically.
Yeah. Ironically. Yeah, I think that's the whole crux of the matter. Is he wasn't a bad person. He was a good man that was hounded. He unquestionably said some things that weren't true, and then because of our rabid media, they then conflated those 3 or 4 or 5 things that he made up into everything, and they just said his entire life was a charade, and that just wasn't true. But 246 articles online about him in the 2 days leading up to his death. 246, and 90-something% of that were negative about him. And it's just, I mean, there's a problem. There's a problem on really loads of different strands on this story, as you said. We need to talk about mental health. We need to talk about suicide. We need to talk about the press. We need to talk about psychology. I mean, but we could do a whole 2-hour episode on this, really. But I don't know.
It's just utterly heartbreaking. He's left 2 fucking kids behind.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. And those people, I've seen Peter Jukes online. He's taking it really hard because he at Byline Times kind of really stuck up for him. But he said online today that most of his team have been away on holiday for the last 2 weeks, and he feels like he let down Jason because his team would have tried to counter the sort of narrative that might have led to it. But I mean, you can't think like that. That's not how.
No.
You know.
No, I mean, Nels Abbey's come out, hasn't he?
I saw Nels Abbey.
Nels Abbey was like telling journalists he's unwell, leave him alone.
Yeah, he'd been telling people for like a week or 2 weeks, like, this guy isn't well, and he, we need to watch out for suicide. He said that, Nels Abbey. It's tragic. It's really, really sad, and that's all I really want to say about it for now. We'll see what the review comes out, but I think it's kind of moot at this point with the plagiarism stuff, really, because it doesn't matter anymore, does it?
But I mean, in his defense, the plagiarism stuff, most of it's been, well, Liverpool John Moores did an investigation and
Oh, yeah,
found that he made basic human error, but there was no plagiarism.
No,
because there's often an overlap of sociological data used because, and I heard somebody today saying academics are under a lot of pressure to keep producing like new findings, even if they're just nonsense. Which sounds insane to me, but what do I know? Fuck me, academia's mad.
It is a bit. Yeah, so sorry about the tough subject listening, but we have to talk about it for the mental health perspective more than anything else, And,
you've got to be open.
Yeah, talk to people about whatever you can. That's all. Right. Should we move on to Andy Burnham and his fucking pubs again?
Oh, yeah, I don't know about this, so enlighten me.
I got a bit enraged this morning because Angela Rayner put out a tweet, and I'll just find it and read it out. Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's the wrong one. I know that's a completely separate Andy Burnham thing. Anyway, here we are.
No, sorry. I have to get the argan oil out on that. I don't know where my WD-40 is.
Angela Rayner said this morning, or it was actually last night, it was in the middle of the night, tomorrow we'll be updating planning rules to give stronger protection for pubs. Again, we're drawing a line so developers have to prove there's genuinely no way to save a pub before they can even think about knocking it down. This is the housing minister. Building homes we desperately need shouldn't come at the cost of pubs. Really? Shouldn't it? Okay, I ran pubs for years. I worked in pubs. I loved pubs when I was younger. But we're in a different place now. Pubs aren't what they used to be. People don't go to pubs the same as they used to. They're too fucking expensive mainly. That is the reason. But also kids...
And alcohol's the most dangerous drug on the planet.
It is. But and my point is that kids, younger kids, 20s kids now, Gen, whatever they are, alpha, millennial, I don't know what they are. But anyway, they just don't drink as much as we used to. And that's a good thing. And we should be encouraging that.
Mine's never drunk.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
And he's 20.
Exactly that. And we shouldn't be trying to encourage people back into pubs to drink all the time because that's not healthy.
But the economy's stupid. Fuck people's health.
Yeah, I know.
It's madness.
But I wrote something today and I said, this is a controversial opinion on Twitter, I said this morning, and it says pubs are not the be-all and end-all of British culture and community, not anymore. And it turns out it wasn't that controversial after all, because I've got about 110,000 people and nearly most of them agree with me. It's not and should not be the centre of focus for the housing minister, I don't think, at the expense of fucking pubs over cheap housing, affordable housing.
This is mad because what I'm hearing is the government talking about building houses and talking about the problem with pubs. I've never heard them talking about building houses and the problem with, I don't know, a medical centre or a youth club or a community centre. Just a pub, yeah, because that earns money, that makes money, doesn't it?
Andy Burnham's fixated on pubs, though, isn't he? He loves the pub. I mean, I get the pub thing. Everyone, there are lots of villages and towns that have community pubs, but they're not anywhere as what they used to be.
Do you know why my local Green Party won no seats at the local elections?
Why is that?
Because they were always down the fucking pub.
Okay.
And I don't care, I'll say that now, because enough time's passed. That's fucking why. Because they were all in their 30s and thought it was a fabulous party.
Yeah. But, a pub's important? Yes, they're important. Are they more important than genuinely affordable housing? No, not in any way. Not in any way. And for the housing minister to be out there saying pubs are more important than homes, which is effectively what she said, made me disproportionately angry this morning.
It's going to confuse Adam Brooks, though.
Publican Adam Brooks. Yeah. He'll be, in theory, on Angela Rayner's side for the first time ever. Yeah. I must go and see what the pub landlord's got to say about that announcement.
Might be having an epileptic fit.
His brain's gone. It's melted in, having a mini stroke about it. But yeah, I think, I don't know. We talk about Burnham's and I'm still trying to find positives in things he's done and saying, but I can't find it.
Linda's just going to have to see the writing on the wall.
I know. Sorry, Linda. I really am sorry. We are trying. And if he gives us something, then we'll obviously talk about it. But, he said last week when he was forced into making a climate change speech that he'd mobilize the military. I couldn't find out where he's mobilized the military to. From what I can tell, he hasn't. And then I heard something on the radio that there's 200 army reserves have been mobilized to help the wildfires. That's it. That's his extent of mobilizing the military. So as of this morning, there was still 63 wildfires being tackled in Britain of today.
Seriously?
Monday, the 17th of August, mostly in Wales, yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing, which seems to have split the public, was the national alert that came out on Friday night on everybody's phone.
Oh.
That was funny.
No.
I was sat on the sofa with 3 phones around me, all going off. But
I was sat there, as often I am.
Yeah.
It goes off. My brain immediately takes me back to sitting at a PC and work at an office.
Yeah.
Do you remember those links people used to send and it'd be somebody like having sex noises dead loud?
Yeah. Or a scary thing pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. My brain goes, oh God, you've been hacked.
On Hotmail Messenger.
As if that wasn't stupid enough.
Yeah.
I went to turn my phone off because, as everyone knows, rebooting your phone gets rid of a virus. So that was like 10 seconds of, and then I thought maybe just read what it says.
Yeah.
It's wild business. So I did that and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, but it kind of mobilized the entire far right going, oh, this is a waste of time. Why are they wasting our Friday nights? But the whole point of them is to alert against serious potential danger against properties or human life. Wildfires are that,
Oh, look, I've got woods just there and there, and a field, and
fair enough.
So,
I have no problem with it, but it did create some comedy takes, which I did agree with. But
and a story about it costing £3 million, which was total bullshit.
Yeah, that was absolute rubbish. That came from Adam Brooks in the first place, I think. Actually,
did it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was one of the most
special bastard
propagators of that rumor.
The other rumor was. Oh no, I think did we talk about that? The who was it said it? I've just watched him. The doofus that was saying about Dale Vince funding Binface to 180 grand.
It was Nadim Zahawi on GMB on Friday last week.
That was it. Told out and out bullshit. Like, I hope Dale Vince sues him.
Yeah, so do I. He did. Dale Vince said he offered it to him, but he didn't. But Binface didn't take it. So, yeah.
Crikey.
Yes, it was an absolute fucking porky pie. So, anyway, I think probably wrap up with a bit of American news because you've got something, haven't you?
I do. In fact, I can play it to you.
Oh, yeah.
No. I just don't know if I need to go up or down. Bad news for America. I'm pretty sure, like, we predicted it a while back when we were talking about them sending their ships out to the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh, yeah.
But the USS Lincoln sat there at the moment, and there is a massive problem. So just bear with.
Crewmen. You guys, there's a mental health crisis happening aboard the USS Lincoln in the Middle East that no one is talking about, and mainly because the Navy is pretty much quashing it. You will read online about food shortages, supply shortages, poor morale among crew members. That's because they've been at sea continuously for 250 days. They've been deployed a total of 271 days, 250 without a port of call. That's unheard of. Normally, they will go to port every 3 to 6 weeks. They have not been to port in 38 weeks. Keep in mind, there are 52 weeks in a year. And yes, the showers are moldy. They're eating basically like a gruel kind of slop at this point. There's no deodorant. There's no toothpaste. My nephew has a friend on board there, and I was basically hearing updates last week when I was in the States in real time. They're not talking about the mental health crisis. 6 people have tried to jump off that ship. The most recent was last Monday. When you have not touched land in 38 weeks, in over 200 days, things start to happen to you mentally. Combine that with exhaustion, and deadly mistakes start to happen. So, this is how the Department of War, this is how Donald Trump treats our servicemen and women, whose lives are already being put in harm's way for a bullshit war of aggression that was supposed to be over in a matter of weeks. We are further putting their lives at risk out of sheer ineptitude and neglect. It defies logic, it defies reason, and it defies basic fucking humanity.
Yeah, well said.
So that's what's going on over there. One of the ladies whose husband tried to jump over didn't find out for a week.
Wow.
And there's no way of getting people off the ship because basically Iran have taken the Sun Tzu route of destroying all their local supply routes. So there are no supplies getting to the ship at all. And because I don't know if this is facetious or not, to be honest, but I'm going to say because they're men on the right, they're not considering pulling out. They're going to stay there until the relief ship comes, which I want to say is the USS Abe. No, that's Lincoln, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Another ship with a presidential name is supposed to be on its way to relieve them, but it's weeks out.
It's weeks away. Yeah. That's absolutely disgusting.
And then they're going to make the week's journey back. So,
yeah.
Why this is like, if you can sit somewhere miles and miles and miles away from danger and choose to put many, many, many other people's lives in danger because you're fucking inept. What the fuck? Like, it's beyond psychopathy, and that's like the worst label we have for the worst people.
It is. Yeah,
that's not rational behavior, and I don't give a shit. Oh, war happens. No. Not now we understand how human behavior works. War doesn't need to happen at all. No. It's a money-making exercise using people. Cannon fodder.
Collateral and cannon fodder, yeah, exactly. No, I mean, that's exactly the reason he put Pete Hegseth in there, because the two of them are so fucking deranged they don't give a shit about the people in their command. I mean, the commander.
Apparently they're arguing now.
What, Hegseth and
They're
Trump?
arguing because they're running out of munitions, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me, but...
Because unfortunately, as I learned when I worked for the American woman at The Spectator, reality doesn't matter if their wants are more important. So Pete Hegseth saying we've run out of tomahawks or whatever the fuck, that's not going to wash with anyone. It doesn't matter because you're dealing with a madman who's just going to shout at you to get more tomahawks, even if you can't.
And the point is that they care about bombs, but not the people.
Yeah. Well, the bombs make the money.
Yeah, exactly. So,
human life be damned, as we've just talked about. And as we talk about nearly every fucking week, just in a different form.
True. And then I saw today, Trump, yesterday he announced that he was going to make the Strait of Hormuz American territory. How he's going to do that, nobody knows.
In his brain.
Yeah.
See, this is the fucking problem. You've got to call this shit out early doors, or this is what it ends up as.
Yeah, in an entirely non-technical term, he's absolutely fucking mental, and he needs to be removed. Yeah, he's off his fucking rocker, that man.
As people have been pointing out for the last 10 years.
And then this afternoon it came out, he announced that he was going to bomb Oman because they were getting in the way of something in the Gulf as well. So he's going to bomb another Middle Eastern country now. The man is I don't know. I don't even have the words to describe what Donald Trump is anymore.
It's not just enablers that allow this to happen. It's people who just look the other way.
Oh yeah, totally.
Not my problem, or somebody else's problem. We've got to stop this. Oh, not my business. Shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should probably wrap up. I've been sitting here for like nearly
I know,
2
we've been here for
3/4
ages.
hours. But I
I've got
just
three
wanted.
things we have to talk about.
Oh, what's that?
They'll keep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realise. Yeah, but should we wrap it up then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us. Do please like, share, subscribe.
Please do that.
We're almost there on YouTube, so if you could just please click the like or share it with a friend. Or
We're coming back up on YouTube with our new format. Check out our website, noholdsbarredpod.com, as always, for everything else you want to know. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back very soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.